much.
Andrew Zimmel's on the board at the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all studios in Milwaukee. Owen Dimful back at the Everlight Solar Studios at ESPN Madison. The Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line list is more is 800-990-3776. We are coming to you through 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, the ESPN Milwaukee and Madison YouTube channels, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. So that's different. This is not the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line through 100.5. It's through ESPN Madison, which is 800-990-3776. We'll go instant reaction here first. Not that this was anything like the Alabama game, but the first thing that Jesse Nelson did when he was filling in for you here with me, Riley, when you were in Tuscaloosa, was he put together positives and negatives, things he liked, things he did not very much enjoy, and wanted to turn his focus away from. Let's start with what we liked, because I think there were some tangible positives here today.
Yeah, how about that first drive of the game, huh? We scored first. We scored
we had
first.
A lead.
We scored
How did that
first.
feel?
That was awesome. That first drive was quintessential Wisconsin football. They averaged 8 yards on first down. The broadcast made a big deal about it because every drive after that they averaged about 1 yard on first down. But that is what we wanted to see from this team. And I understand it was a scripted drive, but that is the identity of Wisconsin football. And I think that's what Luke Fickell and Jeff Grimes have been trying to capture. And for the first time, we actually got to see it today. And that's my biggest positive outside of that first drive was just the intangibles. This team came into Michigan. They swung first, connected on a haymaker, and they hung around. They played tough. They played physical. And they gave it a good shot. Michigan, clearly the more talented team. It just didn't swing the Badgers' way today. So I was very, very happy with the intangibles, with the fight the Badgers showed today. And then I guess my biggest negative is that they just kind of fell off a cliff offensively afterwards. They couldn't get anything going on the ground. And yeah, I guess my biggest takeaway, negatives-wise, is that Wisconsin needs a playmaker desperately.
Yeah.
We're watching this Brewers-Cubs game, and it seems like up and down the lineup, the Brewers have some guy who can deliver. Blake Perkins with a 10-plus pitch at bat delivers an RBI single. Jackson Churio was 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs through 2 innings before he left. And the Badgers, Vinny Anthony, he had a nice game. Outside of Vinny Anthony, Dylan Jones had the good first drive. He looked solid. There is nobody who could step up, make a play, break the game open, and back that Michigan defense up. They were able to pin their ears back, rush the passer, just be gung-ho on stuffing the run. They came out a little flat, and Badgers took advantage of that, which, again, impressed me. But they needed someone to make a big play, offensively or defensively, to swing the momentum their way. And today, even though they played clean, they played solid, they played tough, when you're the underdog, you're the worst team, you need someone to be able to make a game-changing play, and clearly, right now, Wisconsin doesn't have that.
Let's stick with the boxing analogy. Most boxing matches are, 12 rounds usually?
Yep.
I know you get the exhibitions, you get into 8, 10 or whatever. Wisconsin won the first 3 rounds. They genuinely did. They played a little psychological warfare, announcing their starting quarterback to be Hunter Simmons, 90 minutes, the required time. I mean, down to the buzzer, 90 minutes before the game when they came out with their official injury report. And then we heard the report from Pete Thamel, among others, that, hey, it's actually the QB3 that's going to be the QB1 who, by the way, Riley, you said wasn't even on the 2 deep at the beginning of this week?
Not to my knowledge, no.
That's nuts. So they won the psychological warfare and that they did that. So now a more mobile, scrappy Danny O'Neal, where they were going to use his legs a little bit more. Michigan probably spent all of this week planning for that, and they got more of a pocket passer in Hunter Simmons. And we saw it, right? The scripted plays. It was a 12-play, 75-yard drive. It chewed up almost 7 minutes of clock, and the Badgers came out and scored. And all of a sudden, Michigan's looking around like, what on earth just happened? In our house? In the big house, a third-string quarterback came in, made some simple throws, went 3 for 3 for just over 30 yards. What impressed me the most, I'll go with my positives too, the run game and the offensive line at the beginning. It just needs to work. It doesn't have to be what Wisconsin was 10 years ago, but you need positive yardage. And the first 12 plays, call it a low bar if you will, There were no negative plays.
Yeah.
That's a victory at this point. Is it a little sad that we're asking for this now compared to where the program was a few years ago? Maybe, but even the plays that went haywire for the Badgers were 2 or 3 yard gains. We didn't get the shout out to the offensive line as a whole. We didn't get the snaps over the head.
Yep.
We didn't get the 3rd and 18s.
Davis Hines in first game at center
very
was
good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, right? There was the only one I could fully pick out. There was a low snap on the first or second drive that was on an end around to Trechka Kahuna, and Hunter Simmons handled it perfectly.
Yes.
Snatched it back up, put it in Trech's breadbasket, and we were off and running there. Yeah, that's the positive. Negative, obviously, running out of gas. Complementary football always comes to play, especially when you're going up against a powerhouse like Michigan that I don't think looked great today.
No.
They didn't really need to. They just had to rely on the talent gap, and Wisconsin had to hope no big play went against them, and a couple went their direction. So, yeah, ran out of gas. And then on the complementary football note, the offense could not stay on the football field at all in the second half. So, the score that made it 24-7 before the Badgers came back and made it 24-10, which was your score prediction, by the way. Way to nail it. You and I are 2 and 3 on those.
Yeah, we're not too shabby. It's a savvy post-game show we got here. Each with one prediction now. I'm happy.
So there's your incentive to tune in, right?
Yeah.
We're just going to nail the score like every other week. That's the expectation now. That's the bar. But when the offense isn't able to stay on the field, I'm willing to forgive the last touchdown. The game was kind of out of hand after the pick late in the game as well. That was the negative for me. I thought special teams played fine. There was
the blocked punt.
The blocked punt was tough. There was
good field position.
There was a penalty where Vinny Anthony took it back to the 23. We got half the distance to the goal. That wasn't ideal. But if those are your biggest mistakes, along with the pick down the football field that pretty much sealed the game, you're going to be in these games. You're not going to leave this football game going, the Maryland game, I'm still 2 weeks later searching for a positive out of that.
Yeah,
I can't find
nothing.
it. Maybe it was Hunter Simmons, who's now our starting quarterback. Congrats. Claps all around.
And I think one of the biggest things, again, going back to those intangibles, the fact that Wisconsin hung around, they fought, they played tough. The fact that they were able to do that against a superior opponent after the absolute drubbing against Maryland 2 weeks ago shows me that at least right now, Luke Fickell still has this locker room. The guys are still bought in. They still believe in the vision of this program. And I hope that they saw enough positives today to build on it now. We finally have something tangible that's positive to build upon. The schedule gets no easier. But next week, Iowa has not looked impressive this year.
Gronowski went down.
If you can be as physical and tough as you were today against Michigan, that's a gettable game. So I am very excited to see, does this carry over? Do they grow? Do they build off this? Or do we see what we saw last year? After tough losses against Oregon, Penn State, superior opponents, you played tough. You had them on the ropes and you fell short, and then you wilt and you give up. So I think we're going to learn a ton about this team next week. But at least for now, they played, they showed up, and they haven't given up, which is an improvement. Last week,
They gave up.
Exactly. Last week they gave up.
Early.
I said the season was over, and I think most Badgers fans felt that way. It was rock bottom. And now, today, it looked like they're starting that long climb back to the top, and hopefully it continues.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is presented to you by our friends at Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer that is as cold as the Rockies, cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. I'm looking in our live chat on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel. That's our Cardless Talk and text line. You can also call in at 800-990-3776. And there is a comment that interested me. It's Mark D. It's the second one. It was asked in the pregame show today as well. What was the point of switching from O'Neal to Simmons? I still don't think we genuinely know. I'm deducing that it was to give them a different look. I don't know how banged up Danny O'Neal was, but what I do know is the execution against Maryland was horrible. The turnovers, some of the ill-advised throws have not been great, and he was banged up. So I don't know. I'm chalking it up to gave them a different look and tried to pull off the shock factor against Michigan.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we saw today was poise.
Yeah.
This is a redshirt junior, or last year was redshirt junior. He's a redshirt senior this year, transferred from Southern Illinois.
Salukis.
He has a lot of experience under his belt. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, we saw Danny O'Neal flounder when he was under pressure. Today, we saw Hunter Simmons stand in the pocket a couple of times and deliver some nice balls under duress. I mentioned this in the first half. There was one, I believe, in Michigan territory where it looked like the Michigan defender was coming in, swinging about to strip sack him, stood in the pocket, delivered a strike over the middle for a first down. And that is something that O'Neal could not give this offense. When he was under pressure, he started running around like it was Madden, hoping that the defense's stamina would wear off and he could pull off some BS, or he'd just throw it up. And we saw that once from Hunter Simmons today. Not great, but also you could argue there should have been pass interference on that call. Given that Michigan got one on their first drive of the game that was eerily similar. But I think that veteran presence, that poise, that ability to deliver under duress was the biggest reason they put him in. We saw that today.
Poise is a good word. I think they've got different skill sets. We did see Danny O'Neal in splotches, possible
that was
design runs.
I
don't love the 2 QB system. Oregon pulled it off years and years ago. I don't think we can.
No.
I don't think we should be trying to. Didn't love that. I don't think Hunter Simmons was ever sitting there going, oh boy, am I going to be off for the whole next series? It was very clear that it's like, all right, let's use Danny O'Neal's legs or the threat of them and then pull him off the field. A couple of comments. We have Underwaterman 7 saying they can't get 6 wins, no bowl for us. I still believe that. I think, look, my goal is no longer to make the Duke's Mayo Bowl. It's let's head in a positive direction as opposed to limping into the offseason. And it's going to be very tough to grasp and find different things to build on with this tough schedule. But against the 20th ranked team in the country today, we saw some substance, which I think is at least we can smile about that for a little bit. And then we can look over at the Brewers game and smile even more.
Exactly. I'm very happy about the current state of the Brewers, 9-1 over the Cubs right now. But I think right now, if we're looking at future goals for this season, is a bowl game going to happen? I don't think so.
I think we need to not expect that anymore.
Minnesota has not looked good.
Nope.
Iowa has not looked good. Let's win our rivalry games, and let's steal one of the big ones. Give Luke Fickell a top 25 win. Give him a signature victory, and get those trophies back.
Yeah.
That is a tangible goal. That is doable if they continue to build off what happened today. Because ultimately, you still need to win football games. If this is how it goes the rest of the year and you have these close losses and there's no improvement, this is the baseline, that's not going to be good enough. You have to build and you have to start getting wins. I'm not super mad about them not getting the win today, but Iowa, Minnesota, maybe Washington, those are gettable, and steal a big one.
I'm going to be locked in. I think you mentioned it in the pregame show today as well. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day on ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison's YouTube channels, as well as the ESPN Wisconsin app. That Maryland and Washington game specifically for later this year, I'm really watching that one, and I don't really know what I'm hoping for, to be honest. Maybe that Maryland blows the doors off them so that the loss looks a little more justifiable, and then we can kind of start to drool looking at the Washington matchup and go, okay, this is a gettable win. That's maybe 5 if you get the rivalry games. Going to address the elephant in the room here, that a lot of your attention, if you're tuning in, has probably been more so on the Brewers. Maybe not once they got the 8-run lead and you started looking around like, all right, what else is going on? There's not a whole lot of competitive sports going on at the moment. But a lot more hype was built up. Yes, it was a playoff game, but for this Brewers NLDS Game 1 contest against the Cubs, which has been anything but so far, as opposed to Wisconsin going up against the no longer defending national champions, but from 2 years ago, the national champions in Michigan. Why is that? How on earth did we get here to the point where appointment viewing for a 1 o'clock game, which probably should have been at 8. That's a different, a different topic.
Not a fan.
Maybe
of
we'll get on our
MLB
soapbox with that later.
Schedule games.
We were at the mercy of the Red Sox and Yankees, and it went the other way. But why was so much attention? How did we get to this point where all the attention is on the Brewers and almost none is on the Badgers? We were in a spot where the Badgers had to steal our attention away from the screen once the Brewers and Cubs game started about an hour ago. Why is that? How did we get to this point? That is coming up next. You are listening to the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show on ESPN Wisconsin.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
College football fans, here's your new game day routine. Join the frenzy and kick off your next life-saving blood donation by making a future appointment with Versity this Saturday between noon and 3:30. When you keep your appointment and complete your donation, you'll get a $15 e-gift card as thanks. You don't even need to donate this Saturday. Simply make your next appointment. Why not do it the next commercial break? Make your appointment at versity.org and enter the code KICKOFF in notes.
Hi, I'm Jim Frucci, Managing Partner and PGA Professional at Morningstar Golfers Club, and I'd like to personally invite you to play your next round of golf at Morningstar. Lush green fairways, velvet smooth greens, magnificent vistas from high above our championship golf course. Morningstar was created with the serious golfer in mind, and it continues to be the public course by which all other area public courses are measured. Book your tee time today and reserve a spot on our membership wait list. Come out and see what all of Southeast Wisconsin's been talking about. Hey, you played the rest. Now play the best.
At Tony Wendorf and Associates First Weber Group, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family, and friends in that order. We live that every single day. I'm Tony Wendorf. We move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so our clients win. We operate from a place of gratitude, having donated nearly $200,000 back to our community since 2020. You deserve a team that delivers a luxury experience no matter the price point. Contact us today to get started. Tony Wendorf and Associates, trusted knowledge, superior service. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Dude, did you order the new iPhone 17 Pro? Got it from Verizon, the best 5G network in America. I never looked so good.
You look the same.
But with this camera, everything looks better, especially me.
You haven't changed your hair in 15 years. Selfies? Check, please.
New and existing customers can get the new iPhone 17 Pro, designed to be the most powerful iPhone ever, with eligible phone trade-in and unlimited ultimate. Any condition guaranteed. Best 5G source root metrics data, United States, 1H 2025. All rights reserved. Trade-in and additional terms apply for all offers. See Verizon.com for details.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
And we welcome you back to the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show brewed by Coors Light. If you are looking for a reliable roofing and home restoration company in Wisconsin, well, Badgerland Exteriors is here to help you. Residential and commercial roofing, siding, and solar, Badgerland Exteriors has you covered. Visit badgerlandexteriors.com to get started today on your next project. 24-10 the final. Michigan improves to 4-1. The Badgers fall to 2-3. 0-2 in Big Ten play after the heartbreaker against Maryland. And at the exact same time, for about an hour there, the Brewers were putting a beating down on the Cubs, and still are. They're up 9-1 a couple of frames in. And it got me thinking, right? There's a lot of reasons that this has happened, I believe. We're going to dive into some of them. 800-990-3776 is the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. List is more. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk here with you at the Silver Eagle in Monona. How did we get here? Obviously, we know the state of what's going on. The Brewers won 97 games. They're hosting as much as they want to. As long as this playoff run goes, the majority of the games will be played at American Family Field, which Game 1 is right now. And all the attention was on the 108 start, and almost none of it was on the Badgers going up against Michigan because the Badgers are coming off a heartbreaking loss. People are calling for Luke Fickell's job. They're talking about the buyout. And we haven't even, after all of that, by the way, hit the halfway point of the season. But what is the common denominator here? Why can a team with so many similarities to this Brewers team, and I'll go over a couple of them in a second, not do anything close to what this Brewers team is doing? And that's being the best at what they do in their sport. I'm going to draw the line here and tell you a couple of similarities. I know they're two different worlds, college football and MLB. But think about it this way. Willie Adames went elsewhere because the Brewers could not afford him. He hit the transfer portal, if you will, free agency for you MLB fans. The Brewers are 22nd in MLB in total payroll, yet they've made the playoffs in 7 of the last 8 years. The Brewers had their manager, who some thought was the common denominator for this success, and now finds himself down 8 runs, leave for the division rival, and this squad has been the best team in baseball in year 2. Year 2, not even year 3, under Pat Murphy. I've said this before, but I think one of the common denominators for this Brewers team is they know who they are. They're going to go and steal bases. They don't need to slug. They're remarkable at developing pitchers in their farm system, and that's who the Brewers are. Now, the Badgers are in a very similar spot in NIL. They don't have the most money to spend. They're losing some guys to the portal, and they have a new coach in Luke Fickell, yet they went 5-7, and we're thinking right now they'd be lucky to get 5 wins this year. I don't think the Badgers, even after that first drive today, truly know who they are. They got the best run defense. That's not an identity. It's a factoid. That is something that we know through a few weeks.
Yeah. We know they're not actually the best run defense in the country.
We also know that, yeah. They brought the stat up, and then Michigan gets a 43-yard rush shortly after, right? So, I mean, we know a aspect about the Badgers, but I think an identity comes into play when you know on every given play it can take form. The best run defense is not your identity, because when you're on offense, we don't know what to expect. So I think identity is the thing that comes to mind for me.
Yeah, I think, again, I'm trying to be positive. I'm looking at the ESPN Madison YouTube chat. They're very not positive, to say the least. So I want to address some of those comments later. But we saw a glimpse of what this team wants to be on that first offensive drive. Smash mouth, run it down your throat, pound the rock. Classic Wisconsin football. That's what they're trying to get back to. But they're still not there yet. And I think the biggest difference between the Brewers and the Badgers, if you want to compare the two, is coaching. It comes down to coaching and culture. Pat Murphy, even before he took over, the Brewers organization, they've established a culture that is gritty, that puts pressure on the defense constantly, that makes you work for every single out. And then Pat Murphy, after taking over, he just exemplifies that. They run it more like a college baseball locker room. And everyone, we've heard reporters say this, and we can see it on the field, every single player takes after Pat Murphy. How many players on the Badgers do we see take after Luke Fickell? You could argue they do. You could argue that
I'd be
Luke
more
Fickell,
concerned if this is them taking after Luke Fickell.
You could
absolutely
argue that they do. Because sometimes, maybe a lot of the time, Luke Fickell looks bored. He looks impotent on the sideline. That may be a bit harsh of a word. But he doesn't, he just doesn't give off a ton of positive energy, I guess, or encouraging. I don't know. Like, he's not super intense. He's very even-keeled. Yeah. He's very intense, and he's very even-keeled. And the Badgers reflect that a lot of the time. So I think that's the biggest difference. And if the Badgers want to get to the point where the Brewers are at right now, they need to establish that culture, and that starts at the top. That starts with Luke Fickell.
And I think you are who your coach is. That's what you're getting at, right? Like, if you're going to establish a calling card, an identity, a brand, it starts with the person calling the shots. Pat Murphy's feisty. We saw the first, 50 games of this Brewers team last year when they were led by him for the first time. They were getting in scuffles. They were getting
fighting
chippy.
people.
And now, obviously, that's not what you want to see every single time, but that was the first inkling of, oh, this is who the Pat Murphy-led Brewers are. And now we've seen that fight and that scrappiness and that resilience and that chip on the shoulder in other parts. A team that has a chip on their shoulder doesn't hit hundreds of home runs a year. They don't lead the league in slugging. They don't have the sexiest stats or the top 1% player. The Brewers don't have a top 20 player in MLB right now. Maybe you can argue what Freddie Peralta's done. I'll give you that.
Yep.
They have a ton of guys who are in the top 30 and 35% who just do everything right. They steal bases. They play small ball. They pitch extremely well. They're taking the extra 90 feet on a ground ball that drifts into right field. Someone's going from first to third. Whether you're the catcher or the speedster on the team, you're thinking, I'm going corner to corner. It is so easy to let it flow off the tongue. That's who the Milwaukee Brewers are. I don't know who the Badgers are.
No.
I still don't know. I don't know if they know. They don't have the playmakers. That's fine. We're not asking them to be 10-2. We're asking them to know what they're good at and double and triple and quadruple down on it, because that's why the Brewers, who don't have this marquee superstar who's worth $40 million a year, are able to win 97 games this year.
Yeah. And again, we saw them try. There was the first.
They did attempt it.
There was the first glimpse of an identity on that first drive, and that's why I think most Badgers fans were like, okay, this is the team we've been waiting to see. Who are these guys?
Yeah.
Where'd this come from? And then after that, they averaged 8 yards on first down. We brought that stat up already. And after that, they averaged 1 to 2 yards on first down after that. The offensive line couldn't establish. No one went out and made a play, and they were lifeless for the rest of the game. And, again, I'm very happy. People are getting on us a little bit for finding the silver linings. I enjoyed how tough they played. They played competitive football.
Yeah.
But, again, eventually, to take that next step, you have to start winning these games. You have to start making plays. You have to make your own magic. Like the Brewers do. Fickell said it in his press conference this past Monday, that they're waiting for something to go right. And when things aren't going right, make it go right.
Yeah.
You saw it on that first drive. They took it to Michigan. They made things go right. And it seemed after that they took the pedal off the metal.
It was like,
a little
just
bit.
Stay in this. Let's
just
stay
hang around.
in this.
Just hang around.
Don't let them blow us out.
Go for the jugular. They gave up a quick touchdown drive after that, which was frustrating. But they're still missing something.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the most frustrating part.
We have Texas Badger in the live chat on ESPN Milwaukee still saying not another win this year. I don't think they did too much to expel that. You can have more belief that they'll take those rivalry games against Iowa. That's coming up next week, by the way. Minnesota, and I'm really, really curious again to see what Washington does tonight. But I still don't blame you for saying, I don't think they'll win another game this year because what happened last year against Penn State? What happened last year against Oregon? We were kind of doing this same thing where it was, they started pretty strong, and then they couldn't finish the deal, or they couldn't keep the pedal to the metal, or after the opening scripted drive, they scored 3 points. The difference with last year's team is they were actually a lot more turnover prone. Braden Locke was willing to take some shots down the field, whether or not he should have in certain spots. This team today, they played clean for the most part, but you did get that sense in the second half. It was like, just hold on.
Please.
Just stay on the same field as them.
Staying competitive. And that's why, I think that's probably why I'm the most positive. Michigan is a more talented team than Wisconsin. Michigan is a better team than Wisconsin. Next week against Iowa, I'm not convinced Iowa is that much better of a team than Wisconsin. So if Wisconsin gets shellacked 42-10 again, then I think the judgment can come back, can rear its ugly head yet again, and the Fire Fickell chance will be worth it. Homecoming at night, once again on national TV. Why, I don't know.
Have a lot
how
of
that
eyes on
game
it. I don't know if it
end
should.
up in prime time on FS1, I don't know. But this next week is where we're going to learn a lot about this team, where they are at. Can they build off the glimpses we saw today and get revenge against Iowa, get a trophy back, show some pride, show that this program can move in the right direction? Or is it going to be more of the same? Is it going to be a repeat of last week? And if it is, if it's a repeat of, I said last week, I meant last year.
Yep.
If it's a repeat of last year, Badgers are in trouble. Badgers are in big trouble.
It's the Caleb Johnson game. The only thing my mind
Fickle
can think of for about 5 seconds there when you brought up that this will be next week on FS1 in prime time, that would be, I don't know if it's going to go that far, that'd be the same day as Game 5 for the Cubs Brewers, so we could be in a very, very similar predicament.
Yes, and Texas Badger chiming in. You guys said the same thing about Maryland. Yes, we did. And Wisconsin looked atrocious against Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
This week, they looked competent against a much better team.
Yeah.
Different story. So that's why I'm saying, again, Texas Badger. I'm pretty sure that's Scott in Fort Worth.
He just said it is. Yep.
Oh, it is. Hey, what's up, Scott in Fort Worth? Always appreciate you chiming in. So if they look like that, if they look like they looked against Maryland, against Iowa next week.
Need to carry it over.
Yes. Yep. Bring out all the hate you want. I will be the first person to jump at the throat of Fickle and this team because it's the same. This week, they showed some fight. They showed something different. They showed potential for growth. Mm-hmm. You have to build on it, though.
Yeah.
Fickle's preached that. You got to keep improving as the season goes on. If they go backwards, we will call them out, and then the conversations can continue for the removal of certain head coaches and athletic directors.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a fair critique when you're not happy with the product on the field. I do think they built towards a positive direction today. I think, like, if you were to measure the Badgers' stock before we go to break, it was, I don't know, I don't even know how to quantify this. I think we're around the same spot we were in after the Penn State loss now. Like, we've elevated back up to that. Rock bottom was 2 weeks ago. We have risen from that. Not too far. It's marginal improvement, but we're back towards maybe where this team felt they were in the latter stages of last season, where they were competing with really good football programs, just not sealing the deal. Have you been waiting to buy your next home? We'll stop. This is the time to get housed. For over 30 years, Bruner Realty has been providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started today. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com.
Michael Glenn, I will be addressing your comments after the next break.
Let's do it.
Stay tuned, Mike.
This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show brewed by Coors Light.
Postgame reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
College football fans, here's your new game day routine. Join the frenzy and kick off your next life-saving blood donation by making a future appointment with Versity this Saturday between noon and 3:30. When you keep your appointment and complete your donation, you'll get a $15 e-gift card as thanks. You don't even need to donate this Saturday. Simply make your next appointment. Why not do it the next commercial break? Make your appointment at versity.org and enter the code KICKOFF in notes.
Milwaukee College Prep, redefining what's educationally possible so more children can pursue their dream. Join me, Craig Karmazin, and Milwaukee College Prep Thursday, October 23rd at Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall, and take a stand in closing the opportunity gap for Milwaukee scholars. Your support means quality education is accessible to over 2,000 scholars in Milwaukee. Enjoy food, drinks, and a chance to learn more. Purchase tickets at 2025 takeastand.givesmart.com. That's 2025 takeastand.givesmart.com.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even I added too much water to the pizza dough day?
Yep.
How about getting a call from my daughter to pick her up at the airport because her boyfriend is unreliable day?
Especially that day.
What about finding out that one of my pipes suddenly burst in my basement day?
Progressive has every day covered 24/7 with a Home and Auto Bundle. Also, you have a lot of bad days.
Oh no, that was all the same day.
At least you're covered with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love, what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. The Island invites you to experience the best of fall golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. Fall golf rates run through the end of the 2025 season, with tee times starting at $75 and stay and play packages from $125. And submit your 2026 golf package request early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
The annual Catholic Memorial High School Open House is Sunday, October 12th. Become part of the CMH tradition and make plans now to attend from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on October 12th. Register at CatholicMemorial.net. Awarded for academic excellence, a rich tradition of athletic success, and an experience rooted in faith. Find out how your student can achieve more at CMH. Tour the school, meet the faculty and coaches, learn all about the opportunities available for your student. Register today at CatholicMemorial.net. Catholic Memorial High School, where you rise.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car is not one of them. The national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
What? The car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adam.com.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. We know the names. We are the people that's
on. The Badgers falling 24-10 against Michigan. Result not ideal, better than what we saw a couple of weeks ago before what was a long bye week. We had a long time to think about that performance.
That we did.
We took a beat and a half just thinking about how that program fell apart in the first half and tried to salvage something at the end there. Canopy Wealth Management carries a long-standing tradition of working in the best interest of their clients every day. The team at Canopy emphasizes building local relationships and believes that values matter and strengthen their communities. At Canopy, it's care, competence, and clarity. The 3 C's, not just a tagline, a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. And I brought up the Maryland game, Riley, because we go live for a couple of hours, sometimes more, like the Maryland game, to discuss what happened. And I'll just let you read the comment that I was kind of teasing into, and then we'll go back to that Maryland game and how we responded to it.
Yes, so Michael Glenn just wanted to address your comments in the ESPN Madison YouTube chat, starting with OMG, you two are homers. Yes, I am a homer.
Riley is an alum.
I am a massive Wisconsin homer. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I bleed Cardinal and white. I love the Badgers. I want them to succeed. I am a massive homer. So I'm pretty good at spotting other homers. I fully admit that. I love being a homer, which means I want to look on the bright side. I want Wisconsin to succeed. I hate that our secondary is garbage. I hate that our offensive line sucks. I hate that we have no identity. I hate that Luke Fickell coaches scared a lot of the time. He coached scared today after that first drive. If you listen to the show from a couple of weeks ago, I said the season was over and that performance was on coaching, which it was. So today, I will also acknowledge that the fact that this team looked ready to go, played tough, and looked at least semi-competent was also on coaching. That was a good job. Does it need to be better? Yes.
Yeah.
But I will also acknowledge the positives. And will I lean positive? Yes.
Michael,
but
thank you for the comment.
I will also acknowledge the negatives. So next week, if they suck again, you'll hear it from me. So if You think I won't? Call me out on it next week. If I don't, tell me. And to respond to Wisco Greaves, are we going to do another jump around extra for candidates for a future head coach? Probably not, but my take, Mike McCarthy. That interests me a lot. I like Mike McCarthy, but that's for another time. That's not here nor there.
For Michael Glenn, thank you for the comment.
Yes, I do appreciate it. Thank you for the pushback.
Chiming in, we're gonna do our best to get to your comments. Again, you can also call in to the ESPN Wisconsin Cardless Talk and text line. List is more 800-990-3776. That's 800-990-3776. That's the reason I kind of brought up the Maryland game, right? Like Michael, I've known Riley for a decent amount of time, and we've been on the air together the last few weeks, and he is the eternal optimist. Like I'm towards the middle. I think I still lean a little on the optimistic side, but I'm a true pessimist compared to Riley. He is going to find a way to find positives. He was a broken man after that Maryland game.
Yeah, that did break me. This was actually the first time the entire time since I started appearing on the Wisconsin Picks graphics last year. This is the first time I picked against Wisconsin in one of those, and I nailed the final score. Bada bing, bada boom. Once I start picking against Wisconsin, I start getting right.
And you're
1-0.
But Michael, like to what you said, if you don't think he's going to be broken, or if we're not going to rip this team apart when they don't do anything right, there was nothing to gather from that Maryland game, and we didn't gather anything. And it led to Riley's first prediction of this team losing. It also led to Riley basically just declaring on the air, like, we need someone leading this team. Maybe he's in the room right now, maybe he isn't. Who cares about the motion W? And after that performance, it felt like nobody did, right? That was a disheartening performance. So if you think we go in there and lose by 40 to Iowa, we're going to come out thinking it's all sunshine and rainbows, no, we will not. It might be worse than the Maryland game, to be honest, in terms of the response.
Yes, and I think one of the main differences between myself and a lot of other Badgers fans is that I really want Fickell to be the guy. Yeah. So you can totally disagree with me on that. I understand why a lot of people dislike Luke Fickell. I like him as a person. So far, he really hasn't proved it as a coach. Yeah. But I really want him to succeed. And I know a lot of people don't want him to succeed. They want someone new, which is totally a fair perspective to have. I will not knock anyone because ultimately, like we said, these close losses are great. They did what they're supposed to do. Scott in Fort Worth mentioned in the YouTube chat. Yep. He doesn't want us congratulating them for it. I will. But ultimately, this needs to start translating to wins. The Badgers need to start putting together performances where they don't just hang around with the teams that are better than them, where they're outmatched. They need to start being able to get W's. Yeah. That's what matters. And also shout out Scott in Fort Worth. His daughter was getting married today, and he was watching the Badger game up until he had to walk her down the aisle. I'm a diehard. I'm a homer. I think that takes the cake. He is a better fan than I. Scott in Fort Worth, you're a true one of one.
I mean, you've got NLDS Game 1 going on. You've got the wedding going on, and Scott in Fort Worth is locked in to the fifth game of the season.
Massive respect
against Michigan. I respect it too. That is awesome. We have N-Dubs in the ESPN Milwaukee chat. I think this is a very interesting comment, and it holds a lot of merit, and it is related to what you said about lack of playmakers outside of Vinny Anthony. Riley says, until Wisconsin can get the number one running back and number one quarterback in back-to-back years figured out, they don't have the same talent as Michigan. I think a lot would agree that today was a better coached game than what we've seen the last couple of weeks. You saw the talent gap. We don't have playmakers. We don't know what is going on with the run game right now. It was better in that first drive, but I mean, this is a stat that just baffles me. It held true coming into the game. It holds true coming out of 5 full games, including 2 games against Middle Tennessee State and Miami of Ohio. That stat is, a running back on Wisconsin does not have a rush of greater than 17 yards. We were
so close. Drive 1, 16 yards.
Yeah, I thought.
Dylan Jones
broke one free, and I was like, was that it? Was that the 20-yard rush?
Nope. That is not Wisconsin football.
No, it's not. Against Miami of Ohio, against Middle Tennessee State, and Miss Grimes' offense that was supposed to be more run-oriented this year, we don't have a rush from a running back, and I do say that because there was a trick play with Trech Kekahuna against Middle Tennessee State that went down as a rush that was over 60 yards. So we do have that.
Yes.
But a traditional run, I'm not seeing Dylan Jones. I'm not seeing Darion Dupree. I'm not seeing Cade Yakimelli. Somebody in the chat as well was saying I'm shocked he hasn't been more involved to this point of the season. I'm not seeing them make a man miss, get past the linebacker, and get to ultimately the third level and do anything after that. I understand the offensive line has been patchwork at times today, and you could point in a variety of reasons for where to blame or where to place the blame on that. We have not seen someone break free for that home run play, and we're almost halfway through the season. That's a huge reason that even if you do everything right, if another team is truly just better than you and you don't have one of those home run plays, you're not going to win. You're going to lose 24-10.
Yep, and you could tell Michigan has a very talented front seven.
Yeah.
After that first drive, they stopped playing that soft zone coverage where Hunter Simmons was able to feel comfortable and pick them apart. They stopped that, played man-to-man, and they did not respect the passing game or really the running game whatsoever, but especially the passing game. Wisconsin was so one-dimensional. Michigan was just able to pin their ears back, focus on stopping the run, and Wisconsin had no answers.
No.
They couldn't establish whatsoever. Hunter Simmons was under duress every time he did pass. And then the couple plays that were close, really close. The one that comes to mind, it was mentioned in the YouTube chat. I apologize. I forget who brought it up. But there was the double reverse. I believe it was still 17-7 at this point.
Yep.
Double reverse. Tretch has it, and he is off to the races. There is one man between him and the end zone, and the offensive lineman completely misses his block.
It was a blown block.
Safety comes down, makes the tackle, and I believe they ended up punting it away after getting stopped on third down. It's those little things. They don't have playmakers that can bust the game open. They don't have a passing attack that deserves or receives any respect from the defense. And then when they have opportunities to make these big plays, to finally swing momentum their way, just little things go wrong.
Yeah.
Like they punch the ball out. They punched the ball out twice today, and the ball bounced right back to Michigan.
It's horrible.
They miss blocks on potential big plays. They drop balls like Lance Mason on that screen pass early on in the first half. It was almost jumped by Michigan, but it hits Mason in the hands. If he makes the catch, there's no one in front of him.
Yeah.
Led to a punt. There are still, again, they played tough, they competed, but there's still a lot of things to clean up, and they need to clean them up next week.
This is a Coreyism. I use it in like high school football or high school sports in general when you're talking about and trying to make a case for a team to make an upset. They're missing the uh-oh play. They're missing the play, the single play, whether it's a blocked punt or a 60-yard passing touchdown or a kickoff return for a touchdown when the game is not out of hand, because I'm going to exclude what happened against Alabama. It was out of hand at that point. They're missing that haymaker play that makes Michigan go, oh, wait a minute. Now, we did have a really good first drive. It took a long time to develop. It wasn't something that entirely knocked them on their heels. Like, wow, we were just bamboozled on that play. No, we nickeled and dimed them to death, and it worked. We're missing that big explosive play. It could have been on the double reverse. It could have been on that, reverse screen over to Lance Mason. It could have been on, I don't know, if somebody housed a punt return. It could have been on a couple of things, but the Badgers did not have that uh-oh play that made Michigan go, oh, shoot, like this game is not going in our direction. We're actually one or two plays away from losing it, and they were on multiple occasions. The difference is the Badgers just didn't execute on it, right? There's ways to win a football game, and Barry Alvarez talks about it on the Barry Alvarez Show every single week on Mondays, right? There's ways to win a football game and scrap one out when you're the less talented team. It's being more physical. It's playing clean, not committing penalties, and I'm going to insert into Barry's list the uh-oh play. You need the uh-oh play, and we didn't get that.
Yep. And I think you can nickel and dime a team to death, even when you're the less talented team. And for the first half, we saw Wisconsin do a great job of running the Barry Alvarez method for beating these better teams to a T. You eat up clock, you run the football, you keep it out of their offense, out of their offense's hands, their playmakers, and you try and shorten the game. And they did that very well in the first half.
Yeah.
But after that, and really after the first drive, when you can't sustain anything, when you can't really eat the clock, you're going to struggle to win that way. And you could tell by the fourth quarter, the defense was exhausted.
Yeah.
They would been on the field the entire half. We saw that last year against USC, too, in a game Wisconsin should have won.
100%.
Against a top 25 team.
Miller Moss.
Yes,
Yep.
which is frustrating. you need to be able to sustain drives. And when you don't have those playmakers, you don't have those big plays that can soften a defense up, you're not going to be able to do that.
Before we go to break, that final drive that ultimately sealed your correct prediction of 24-10, which I think still was the most optimistic prediction among
yes,
our
it was.
ESPN
I was being very optimistic with the 24-10. The game played out almost exactly how I expected.
With the exception of that Riley gets the pick correct walk-off field goal at the end. That was 13 plays, 53 yards. I mean, these are the second half drives, Riley. 3 plays, 1 yard, a minute 5. I'll just read the time off. To keep it succinct. The next drive, minute 36. The next drive, minute 37. The next drive, 57 seconds of game clock, and then the field goal. The defense, to your point, has no time to breathe. I don't blame them for giving up the late game touchdown. It gets really tough to execute over and over and over again when it's 3-and-out galore. Wisconsin honestly didn't have to pull off a whole lot after that opening drive touchdown to make this a one-possession game down the stretch and be still one play away from shocking the world, honestly, with the state of where this program is at right now. Folks, with Celebrations Entertainment, planning events has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more fun. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable moments. Taking your calls and texts on the ESPN Wisconsin Cardinals Talking text line, 800-990-3776. Taking those calls and texts when we return. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Greg Matzek, Gary Ellerson, the day after reaction show you need in your life.
Who benefits the most from Micah Parsons being on the field? Secondary, Keyshawn Nick.
It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Mondays with Greg and Gary.
If you're a quarterback, you've got to get the football out of your hands before you really want to do it. I mean, everybody's getting their wealth with this, but to me, I think it's really the guys in the secondary.
Live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios from 6 to 8 p.m. every Monday on 94.5 ESPN.
College football fans, here's your new game day routine. Join the frenzy and kick off your next life-saving blood donation by making a future appointment with Versity this Saturday between noon and 3:30. When you keep your appointment and complete your donation, you'll get a $15 e-gift card as thanks. You don't even need to donate this Saturday. Simply make your next appointment. Why not do it the next commercial break? Make your appointment at versity.org and enter the code KICKOFF in notes.
Outfit your crew. Your workforce is your brand. From uniforms to safety apparel, Alpha Custom Apparel helps you outfit your team with gear that looks sharp and works hard. We create durable, functional apparel that keeps your crew comfortable and confident on the job. No more digging through endless catalogs. We handle the details so you can focus on running your business. With fast turnaround, custom options, and friendly Midwest service, we make it easy to keep your team looking their best. Visit alphacustomapparel.com. Let's get to work.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. It's October, and this is when the weather really starts to shift. The mornings are crisp, and the evenings are cooler. And right now, with Universal Windows Direct, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no limit. And to make it even easier, you'll get 0% financing for 3 years. Receive an extra $500 off your entire home improvement project when you schedule this month. Call 414-410-2000 or visit UniversalWindowsDirect.com to book your free estimate today. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic. Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water. Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular. The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature
will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman. Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist, the neck, and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's. We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Is your roof underperforming? saggy shingles, leaky spots? Sounds like someone needs a little Evandale Roofing. They don't just patch things up, they go all the way. Tight, sealed, satisfied. It's the kind of roof that'll have your neighbors going,
now that's a roof.
Evandale Roofing. They get on top so you don't have to. Call now. Your house deserves it.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
To 10, 2-3 on the season. Some positives to draw, specifically from the first half before Michigan quite literally ran and I guess passed away with it too. That was a weird part of this one. Corey Sparks, Riley out here with you from the Silver Eagle in Monona. Bryce Underwood had like 50-something passing yards, a decent chunk into the second quarter, largely because of those longer, prolonged drives from the Badgers. I look up halfway through the third, and he's already over 200. Like, it got ugly quick.
Yeah.
I think, but then you get to it's 24-7, it's 24-10. This is where you introduce the term garbage time. Is the game completely out of hand? And Luke Fickell did take some timeouts into what will be week 7, but week 6 for the Badgers. And we had a comment trying to make a bigger picture claim based off of that.
Yes, you have Lance Pipecorn. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Apologies if I'm not, Lance. Fickell quit on the team. Fire him tonight, I believe is what you meant to say. And then Wisco Grebes, and it's not using your timeouts too. I've seen that all over Twitter today. That seems to be a general consensus, is that Fickell quit on his team. And it sounded like we didn't hear the broadcast. It sounded like Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt may have made that
insinuated that, yep.
Yeah, as well. I'm not sure. I'm going to push back. I don't think Luke Fickell quit on the team. He went for the onside kick. He didn't get it. And even if he does call those timeouts, Michigan ended the game inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
They're punching that in if they really want to, and the game's over. I don't think he quit on his team. I don't think not using your timeouts down 2 scores. Theoretically, is the game still in grasp? Maybe. Sure. But I don't think not taking your timeouts there is quitting on your team. And I will say, though, I think if I'm Luke Fickell, and what I want to see from Luke Fickell is taking those timeouts, trying your best to get as many style points as possible at the end of the game, simply for good PR.
I think it would be good for him.
Yes.
I don't think it would impact the result of the game.
Even if the Badgers lose 24-17, a lot of fans, you can argue if this is right or wrong, a lot of fans feel a lot better about that game.
Yeah, you're appeasing some box score watchers.
Just for the sake of his good PR. Luke Fickell has horrendous press right now, a lot of it very, very deserved. For the sake of himself and for the sake of this team, I want Fickell to be overly aggressive in garbage time. I want Luke Fickell to go for it and go out guns blazing, go out on the shield, so to speak, because that's what the people want.
Yeah.
They want to see the fight through all 4 quarters. They want to see the moxie. They want to see the energy. And even if it's simply from the standpoint that Fickell needs some good press, he should really start doing it just so he looks better. That's a big factor. Evan Cohen talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to win back the fans.
Yeah, whether
and
it's
that's not
calling
going to
people
help.
up. What was he saying? Call up business owners one by one, make some FaceTime in public. One of those things that you can do to win a section, I don't know how big of it is, but a section of the fan base back is showing that you're still willing to stay in the fight, even if the fight is already decided. I've got a little pushback on that because I do think there's one thing that can come back to bite the Badgers if they tried that late in this game. But first, with Celebrations Entertainment, planning events has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more fun for you and your group. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable events. All right, I'm going to make an NFL reference here, and it might be a bit of a stretch because this game that I'm about to talk about was not out of hand. Riley, do you remember the game between the Chargers and Raiders from a couple of years ago? It was in overtime, and there was a result where if both teams tied, they would have both gotten into the playoffs.
Yes.
And then Brandon Staley, instead of letting the clock run out while the Raiders had the football, took a timeout. And the Raiders said, fine. You want to play that way? We're going to go down and score. Now we get in the playoffs. You don't. He got fired shortly after. This is extremely different. This is a team that just fell to 2-3 today. There are not playoff implications, to my knowledge.
Certainly not.
That may be far from it.
Hey, Badgers win out 9-3.
Especially against that schedule.
Looking pretty good.
But I wonder, specifically for those who would feel better if the score looked sooner. Let's play this scenario out. Fickell burns timeout number 2.
Yep.
Is there a non-zero chance that Coach Moore goes, fine, I'm punching it in. Now you're down a full touchdown. Now we got to go down and score, and if we don't score, the score looks even uglier. Now it's 31-10. And I'm just curious if is that the same group that we're appeasing that might get even more rattled by seeing we lost by 3 scores? And then is that same group going to go, well, now why'd you go and do that?
See, that's the thing. It's a no-win scenario.
Yeah, it's like either what was the point of that, Fickell? Now they punched it in, and we didn't have a drive in us that would have been probably the length of the football field unless we had a great return. But now it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yes.
Now it's why didn't you use those timeouts? I am with you, by the way. That is not quitting on the team for the reason I just said. I think 10 times out of 10 you don't do it in that scenario because Coach Moore is likely going to punch it in.
There's a certain respect factor there as well, I believe. And Mark Coleman, I wonder if that's the Mark Coleman, former UFC fighter. Fickell, this is another section of the fan base. Fickell not going to win me over. I've been over him since last year. I wonder how many fans fall into that category where even if the Badgers win out the rest of the season, like wins will win over most of the fan base. I think there's a fairly large chunk
that's just out
of Wisconsin fans, regardless, that are totally out on Fickell. Like it doesn't matter what he does, they want him gone. He's not a Wisconsin guy. He hasn't looked good so far. Nothing has been encouraging. The culture isn't there yet. So even if he starts winning football games, even if he brings us back, unless he delivers a national championship, that he can't win over that section. I feel like it's the same with Ohio State. Granted, very different standards, but I think there are some people who will never support Ryan Day because he can't beat Michigan.
Even after the Natty. I know an Ohio State fan. I work with Wally Lukashinsky over at ESPN Beaver Dam. He told me I would 10 times out of 10. I'm not going to generalize the whole fan base, but this seems to be my impression that a lot of people are in agreement with him. 10 times out of 10, I'm taking the win over Michigan over the national championship. I don't know if I can find it. Let me ask you, because you're an alum.
Yes.
Win over Minnesota or a Natty?
See, it's a good question. I have to pause
It provokes
think.
thought. Okay,
yes,
so that's how much the rivalry means to you.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Minnesota, I hate Minnesota with
like,
all
wait a minute,
my
Riley's
heart.
a diehard. Let me ask him.
Melvin Gordon said if he saw a Minnesota, like he wants to blow up their campus.
Yep.
Like he's calling for an act of domestic terrorism, which was hilarious. Obviously, he didn't mean that.
Yeah.
But I totally concur. That is how much I despise the Golden Gophers. I hate Minnesota with every fiber of my being. And it hurts. I don't want to lose the X.
So let's keep this exercise going then, especially for some of you out there. And if you want to call in, 800-990-3776. Riley, I'll ask you, if you were out on Fickell right now and he didn't win another game this year, but they got the X, how high does your stock rise up?
Not too high.
Okay.
Not too high still if they lose out but beat Minnesota. But I will be very happy that they ended the season on a high note, and there would be that. So then even if they decide to move on from Fickell, it'd be like, hey, at least he won us back the X.
Okay.
But I think ultimately going back to the original question, I would take a national championship. We've never won one. I would take a national championship over beating Minnesota. It's different for Ohio State. They have different standards. They've won a lot of natties. They've been owned by Michigan the past 4 years. So it's not necessarily apples to apples. That being said, it is a real question and it's tough. I hate Minnesota. But I'd rather give me a natty. The Brewers World Series or in Wisconsin National Championship I would cry tears of joy.
And Mark Coleman, I agree with you too, right? Like if you can just win the coveted prize, I really don't care if they win 11-1, especially with the state of the program that the program is in right now. Beggars can't be choosers. Let's just get a good football team, and that's what Mark Coleman ended up saying too.
You and me both.
I'd love to hear you quantify that too, because I think a lot of people are in the let's take a tangible step forward. I need to see 6 wins. That is a far-fetched fever dream right now.
Yeah.
I think 5 wins is a big stretch. So seeing a good football team, what do you want to see, especially against this gauntlet of a schedule? Yeah.
Yeah, I just have one more thing before we go to break here. Answer Michael Glenn in the ESPN Madison YouTube chat. Answer me this. Why did they extend Fickell for 7 years through 2032 in January of this year? That is just a standard thing they do for every single varsity head coach at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Every year they'll get a default standard extension. That means nothing.
Yeah.
That means absolutely nothing. When Wisconsin wants to cut ties, they will.
Yeah.
If and when they want to cut ties.
It's a formality.
Yes,
Yep.
they will. And ultimately now it's about the buyout. The extension is standard practice. Every single coach that is employed by the University of Wisconsin got that same 1-year extension. Mm-hmm. It means nothing.
It's literally signing your name on the text.
Yes, for people who are worried about that didn't expand the buyout. It didn't increase anything. It meant nothing.
I'll be honest, when I first saw the headline, I did
I
not
was
know
like,
that
what?
rule.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you dive in, and it is not – the reason that happened is not because McIntosh sat down and went, I'm really impressed with what you've brought to the table the last couple of years. No, it's a formality.
We'll need to ask Jim Rutledge. He knows why. He knows the history of it.
Yeah.
This has been a tradition for decades now. I can't remember why it started, but it's been a thing for a long time. It's standard practice.
We will head into the second hour next, but first, you can save money and ditch the energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar, your local solar energy company based in Madison. Visit everlightsolar.com to learn more and make the switch today. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. In the second hour, we will begin with Red Hot Ice Cold. This is the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
College football fans, here's your new game day routine. Join the frenzy and kick off your next life-saving blood donation by making a future appointment with Versity this Saturday between noon and 3:30. When you keep your appointment and complete your donation, you'll get a $15 e-gift card as thanks. You don't even need to donate this Saturday. Simply make your next appointment. Why not do it the next commercial break? Make your appointment at versity.org and enter the code KICKOFF in notes.
Imagine your home totally organized. At Closets by Design, we specialize in providing affordable, custom-built storage solutions with built-ins and beyond, from garages to new home offices. Our experienced designers work within your budget to design a solution fit perfectly to your needs. Get 40% off plus an additional 15% with 18-month financing. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get started. Let's get organized together.
For your fellow fanatics and your number one fans. For your game day compatriots and your everyday companions. For your personal cheerleaders and your personal heroes. For the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Learn more at deltadentalwi.com today.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night Show for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. I reclaim my outdoor space by having Comfort Awnings install a motorized retractable awning so I can enjoy the sun and get relief when I need it. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive a free motor for your automated awning with your order. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. So the big, beautiful bill is now law. How does the new law affect individuals? For starters, the current tax rates topping out at 37% are made permanent. Taxpayers age 65 or older get an extra $6,000 deduction, but with a phase-out. Social Security is still taxable as it has been. You heard me. Social Security is still taxable, depending on your income. Individuals may deduct up to $25,000 in qualified tip income. Up to $12,500 of the premium for overtime pay is deductible. Of course, there are restrictions. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call 414-325-2040 now to set up a meeting to see how you are affected by these and other provisions of the new law. Don't be surprised on April 15th. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Looking to heat up a career in HVAC? Dick & Trough Heating and Cooling in Milwaukee is now hiring HVAC installers and service technicians. Family owned and operated, Dick & Trough offers competitive wages, a 401k match, health insurance benefits, and a winning, positive team culture that sets them apart. This is more than a job. It's a chance to grow with a company that truly values its people. Apply now to become their newest team member at dickandtrough.com. Dick & Trough Heating and Cooling. Come see the difference. Apply at dickandtrough.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Ho was scorching.
Going to keep it himself, another rushing touchdown for Wisconsin. Pouring it on in Piscataway.
Who froze up?
Block from his end zone. It's picked off. Jalen Reed. Touchdown. Huge play for the Penn State defense.
It's time to play Red Hot, Ice Cold on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
He's got a fever.
Bringing in hour number 2 of the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show after Wisconsin's 24-10 loss to Michigan. Oh, we got a couple repeatable segments that will be hitting this hour. We'll have Drive of the Game coming up. Metro Florida Madison College Football scoreboard update, helmet stickers. Some of those outside of the scoreboard update, Riley, we've had to make memes out of because of the product on the football field. Today we can actually take it pretty seriously.
I know there's actually some positives to take away. It's a treat. It's such a treat.
Who was red hot for you today?
So red hot. I'm gonna save my more serious answer for helmet stickers coming up next or in a couple of segments from now.
Yep.
My red hot today was video review. The Badgers were going to get screwed over on a 3rd and 1 stop. And what came to save the day? The official review from New York, from the booth. They whistled down. They got the right call. And they've had to punt back to the Badgers. That made me very happy. That was when the Badgers were still in it. And the defense showed today they could make some of those big stops on 3rd and 1. While the Badgers might not be the best rushing defense in the country,
they're still pretty darn good.
They are miles better than they were last year. This is not the same rushing defense that we saw against Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota last year that just got taken to the woodshed. So shout out video review. Shout out this rushing defense. Is it number 1? No, but it's legit.
Video review for the win. Reminding you that winners go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, the casino with the highest payouts in the area. Go be a winner at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. They're open right now, and they stay open late until 2 a.m. on a Monday. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. More spins, more wins, more fun. My red hot, my winner. The offensive line did their job today. I think for the most part, they started to fall apart a little bit in the 3rd and 4th quarter, but they kept this team in it. We talk about preventing the big bad play for a team that's trying to fight an uphill battle. No horrible snaps. No crazy turnover, jarred loose fumble that was caused by the offensive line just breaking down. And that first drive, right? 12 plays, 75 yards, 9 of those on the ground. was led by the offensive line. We had to go a couple of drives into this one before the Badgers on offense, where we did not know who they were coming into today, had a negative play. So
Yes.
I'm going to give credit to the offensive line. That was the Wisconsin football I know and love. No, it's not back in its entirety, but we're heading in the right direction.
Yes. Now, for my ice cold, this is a deadly serious answer.
Okay.
My ice cold, and he has been ice cold this entire season, Ricardo Hallman.
I'm with you, brother.
What are we doing? Sets up the first drive of the game for Michigan. Pass interference on the first play from scrimmage on a flea flicker. I understand playing cornerback's the toughest position in football. But if you turn your head around, that's an incomplete pass on a horrible underthrow from Bryce Underwood. And they're set up 2nd and 10, and you never know. Maybe they don't march right down the field. He had that play late in the game. For, I believe it set up Michigan going up 24-7, not 17-7. Michigan completes a pass, already blown coverage. And then Ricardo comes flying in from the back, and instead of just lowering the boom, because the Michigan wide receiver was off his feet, full extension up to catch the ball, could have just popped him. Instead, sits back, waits, and then tries to, wrap around and rip the ball out. What are we doing? They're picking on him. They abused him this game, and that has been par for the course this entire season. I don't know what has happened over the past 2-3 seasons for Hallman, but he is not the same cornerback, and he has been frigid this entire season.
I'm trying to figure out what happened, Riley. He was one of my ice colds, too, because 2 years ago, he had 7 interceptions. He had that 90-something yard pick 6 against Rutgers that pretty much kicked off what ended up being a great win for Wisconsin a couple of years ago. Is he overthinking it? I'm not a defensive coordinator. I'm hoping Tressel can figure it out or help him figure it out. That play, the one you're mentioning on one of the final drives where I believe it was to make it a 24-7 ball game with Michigan, he went for the ball when he could have just popped him because I think he was trying to make the big play happen. He was already having a rough day at the office. Maybe he was trying to make up for a couple of quarters of lackluster play. But, Riley, the bottom line is teams are seeking him out now when 2 years ago, just 2 years ago, they were avoiding
no fly
him.
zone.
Yeah, it was don't even throw on his side of the field sometimes because he was such a ball hawk. I don't know what's wrong with him, but it seems like he's getting worse and overthinking it more and more and having more of these low-light plays on a week-by-week basis.
Mm-hmm.
That one's tough.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, this one's less serious, and it is you, my friend. I'm very sorry.
What?
Jinxes, if that gives you a hint at all. Riley brought up the Michigan run game looked contained early on, and they 100% did. I agreed with him.
This was on me.
We were in the ESPN Wisconsin or ESPN Madison Everglades Solar Studios, and I look up at the screen behind Riley right after he says, I think we've contained the run game so far. And Justice Haynes took a 43-yard rush up the gut and almost scored on it in what was the best run of the game for either team. Now,
hand up, accountability hour. Accountability hour. That's on me. That's on me.
I'm with Hunter Vaughn. I believe the universe is chaotic. I don't actually believe that was your fault, but the timing of that was, it was pretty bad.
That was cruel irony. That was the very first drive of the game, correct?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
It was their response.
All right. Look at this defense. This is the number one rushing defense in the country. And then bop. Longest run of the game.
You could blame the production truck, too, for taking the graphic that said that.
Yes.
Number one rush defense in the country, and then shortly after. So maybe it wasn't your fault.
They set up
you
my
were responding for the,
So maybe, now it's accountability hour. I'll take the blame.
You were responding to the graphic. All right, fair enough. One more red hot, the game script. I think the game script was really well thought out. When this team had to, think on their feet, and you could say it about Michigan, too. It didn't look too pretty. But, everything that was dialed up and worked on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday looks good.
Yeah, early on, first drive was fantastic. And even in that first quarter, every button that Grimes was pushing was working.
He called a good game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there were some plays that could have worked better if they were executed better. But, after the first quarter, it definitely wasn't a perfect game from Jeff Grimes or Mike Tressel. But game script was solid.
Does Hunter Simmons get a red hot? I know we're kind of getting into helmet sticker territory as well.
I think that's pushing it.
Maybe not red hot.
177 yards, 1 interception. He was competent, which is good.
Yeah.
He was good. I don't even want to say he was good enough to win today. He was good enough to not lose.
Game manager.
If they made some big plays on defense or a couple other things really went their way, he didn't lose the Badgers the game today, for sure. But he didn't do anything that made me think, this is the future of Wisconsin football or anything like that. I think that's pushing it.
I will say, as eager as I am to meet Carter Smith on the football field,
Not yet.
I don't like that we're inching closer and closer to him on the depth chart. It's like, oh, no Billy Edwards Jr., we're only going to use Danny O'Neal on a couple of plays. Now we're on to Hunter. I don't like the direction we're going in the depth chart where we've had 3 starting quarterbacks in 5 weeks.
Yes, and that's the thing. I think we're all we're so used to the Badgers playing the backup quarterback. I think we've all completely ignored the storyline that this is the Badgers playing on the road at number 20 Michigan with their 3rd string quarterback.
They lost by 14. Yeah, they lost by 14, and they were very much in the game.
Yes, and they played like a team that was on the road with their 3rd string quarterback. That's how the game went. They were more conservative. They didn't really air the football out. They tried to pound the rock, and after that first drive, they couldn't.
Yeah.
And that was that.
He made his first FBS start today, too. Like, it wasn't even like we got him from, I don't know, I was going to say Minnesota. I feel like we don't trade players with them too often. Occasionally you'll lose a recruit from one, and then he'll go to the other or something, but it's an increased level of play. He was playing at Southern Illinois for the Salukis. He actually got hurt after a couple of games last year, so
for his first step up,
he did what he could. Yeah.
From his last game, I believe, being against South Dakota to playing at number 20 Michigan, he was very solid. If you take all the context into consideration. Was he great? No.
Yeah.
But given the circumstances, I will take it.
I don't want to look too far ahead to Iowa. That's what the last segment of this show is for, which will be coming up in a little over 30 minutes today. But I am excited for those fans who are going to the Iowa game next week. It's going to be homecoming, and Liberty Station is going to be able to help you out a ton. Our friends at Liberty Station are running a game day shuttle program during home games this football season for just $20. Get a Coors Light and a round-trip ride to Camp Randall. It all starts at Liberty Station, American Tavern and Smokehouse, located off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. When we come back, drive of the game for today. It is not Riley's drive to Tuscaloosa from a couple of weeks ago. It is not the fans' drive to Camp Randall or to the Big House. This week, we have a drive of the game. That's on the other end of the break. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
At Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber Group, we do more than close deals. We serve with gratitude and faith-filled purpose. We've sold over $300 million in real estate since 2020, one of the top-ranked real estate teams in Wisconsin, and we're just getting started. What sets us apart? We care. Even if we're not your agent, we'll still help. That's the kind of stewardship the community deserves. If you're buying or selling across southeastern Wisconsin, let us earn your trust. I'm Tony Wendorf, and I want to create your red carpet experience. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
Want your brand to turn heads and win hearts?
Captivate Exhibits can bring your brand to life by transforming lobbies, creating history walls, and beautifying facilities.
For over 32 years, Captivate has been the MVP of trade show exhibits and workplace design and fabrication. Let Captivate craft immersive branded environments that tell your story boldly, beautifully, and with purpose at events and around the office.
Score big by making your next event or your own space unforgettable. Create something legendary by getting started today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with AccuTrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use AccuTrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. AccuTrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
The annual Catholic Memorial High School open house is Sunday, October 12th. Become part of the CMH tradition and make plans now to attend from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on October 12th. Register at CatholicMemorial.net. Awarded for academic excellence, a rich tradition of athletic success, and an experience rooted in faith. Find out how your student can achieve more at CMH. Tour the school, meet the faculty and coaches, learn all about the opportunities available for your student. Register today at CatholicMemorial.net. Catholic Memorial High School, where you rise.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. The Island invites you to experience the best of fall golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. Fall golf rates run through the end of the 2025 season, with tee time starting at $75 and stay and play packages from $125. And submit your 2026 golf package request early to guaranteed choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
Sundays are for football and carbless. Born in Wisconsin, carbless handcrafted premium cocktails are packed with flavor, not sugar. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, just 100 calories, and gluten-free. Whether you're tailgating in Green Bay or calling the plays from your couch, carbless is the cocktail that's always game day ready. Crisp, clean, and crafted to win. This season, drink like a champion. Drink carbless, a proud partner of the Green Bay Packers.
What's better than cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand? Cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand that you got for 10% off. And when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank, you get even more. Like 10% off food and 10% off drinks on game day. Like that ice-cold beer in your hand. Plus 15% off Pro Shop gear. Only with Packers checking. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
It's the drive of the game.
He's got the corner, and the Badgers touchdown answers quickly.
On ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
The Badgers punctuating and pulling away.
The drive of the game is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers, helping guys score for more than 25 years.
And we have a legitimate drive of the game today. Corey Sparks, Riley out here with you at the Silver Eagle in Monona. It is a great time. The Brewers are up 9-2 in game 1 of the NLDS with looks like 6 outs to go. We're in the top of the 8th if my vision serves me right. So they're playing really well.
What do you say, Jared Koenig? Throw him a chair.
Do you think the Brewers outscore the Badgers today? That is still in play.
It's in play.
They've been
Couple
stuck
more
at
runs.
9 for a little bit, but
Jared Koenig
might be
9-3. Strike him out. That one was way gone. But 9-3.
Up by a touchdown still.
So, solo shots are A-OK.
This is the drive of the game brought to you by our friends at Chalmers Jewelers. Riley, I think you and I share this one. 12 plays, 75 yards, a score, and a score that put Wisconsin up on 20th-ranked Michigan, because we all thought that was going to happen today. 6 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. That was, we recorded a video with Pablo Iglesias right after the drive, because he could just sense the sheer amount of shock on our faces. That was Wisconsin football. 9 of those 12 plays were on the ground. And Hunter Simmons, I mean, I said it before, I think Grimes called a pretty good game. He didn't have to do anything. It was his first read, just hit your guy, button routes, come back, face the quarterback, hit him in the numbers, go. Perfect execution.
Wide open zone. That was Wisconsin football to a T. They got 5 yards plus on first down. They'd run it again, get up to like maybe 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, or they'd get the first down on 2nd down. Occasionally on like a 2nd and 6, they'd throw it over the middle, first down. Chunk plays. They had the screen pass to Vinny Anthony for 17 yards. You had the 16-yard run from Dylan Jones. That is what we've been hoping to see from this offense all season. That is what Jeff Grimes promised us. That is what we're built upon. And it was such a treat, so exciting to see that on the first drive. Really frustrating. I've said that word a lot today. Frustrating, disappointing that they couldn't replicate that success at all the rest of the game.
Yeah, they fell flat.
Because you have one more of those drives throughout the game until garbage time. It's a totally different ball game.
Absolutely.
You're down. You go up at one point, 14-10 if you have another one of those drives, or you only are trailing 17-14. Then Michigan starts to get tight. Then maybe they force something, make a mistake. And, yeah, the Badgers, just after that first drive, they didn't really put any pressure on Michigan. They didn't put them in a spot to make a mistake. They tried to make some plays. They had those punch-outs we talked about earlier. That ball didn't bounce their way right back to Michigan. But they didn't put the pressure on after that first drive. It was a sensational drive. That's what we hope to see more of, and we need to see more of that from this offense if we want any confidence. If you want to beat Iowa, you want to beat anyone left on your schedule, you have to continue to be able to do that. And I guess we'll see.
Was the small-ish sample size we saw? I'm not asking you to show your hand for your game picks a week from now, but this was the first loss that you predicted for Wisconsin.
And
could not have predicted it better from a score perspective.
Unfortunately not.
This is not a point I'm sure you wanted to get to. You wanted the Badgers to give you enough optimism for you to go, you know what, I know it's been tough-ish sledding, but they've shown me something. Was this enough to restore faith that you believe this team can scrap some wins, wins, plural, together?
I think best case scenario now, it gave me confidence that they can beat Iowa and Minnesota.
Okay.
We'll see how Washington does. I believe they're trailing Maryland right now. Washington is a long shot. Minnesota and Iowa seem gettable. It gave me enough confidence for that. They're not going to beat Oregon or Ohio State unless they are extremely fortunate, catch them napping, get lucky, or have some absurd growth between now and then. Maybe Billy Edwards Jr. comes back and ignites a spark with this team. I don't see them getting one of those marquee wins, but that's not where the Badgers are measured right now. You need to get back to beating your peers, which are Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, Washington, unfortunately, that's Rutgers, Purdue, Northwestern, UCLA. UCLA, this pisses me off to know it. UCLA is up 24-7 on Penn State right now.
They scored again.
Wisconsin, you can make a very convincing argument that Wisconsin is the worst team in the Big Ten and probably bottom 30 in college football. And I hate that. So
does Wisconsin beat UCLA
last
if they
outburst
play?
of today? No, not today. They're not beating UCLA today. UCLA's housing Penn State right now. Maybe Penn State is just still reeling from the loss. They could have a hangover loss from last week.
Could be.
Against Oregon. And maybe that shows James Franklin isn't the guy for Penn State. But
that's frustrating.
It seemed
we were looking at Georgia Tech a couple of weeks ago, and they pulled off an upset, and we're like, I
feel like
why
a
can't
child. I feel like a child on the outside of a candy store.
Gimme.
And I'm looking in, and I'm seeing every other parent buy their children some candy, and I'm on the outside like, please, can we go in? Can we get something?
No, eat your celery,
and
Riley.
Yeah, no, here's a carrot. Enjoy. Yeah, enjoy your celery, man. No big wins for you.
Yeah.
No wins ever for you. Here's a jelly bean. You can beat Miami of Ohio. You can beat Middle Tennessee. That's all you're getting. Pennies on the dollar. That's Wisconsin football right now. I didn't expect to get this irritated this late. I thought I had gotten that out of my system. But
you were seeing red when you saw that on the
re-aggravated
Score
me.
Center.
Like, this is now I'm mad again. People were getting mad at me for being too positive. Now I'm mad again. How are we worse than UCLA? This is just so unacceptable.
Yeah.
They need to beat Iowa next week. They need to beat the Hawkeyes now, or I will lose my mind.
That's what Underwater Man 7 in the ESPN Milwaukee live chat is saying. I'll give it to Iowa, and that is the literal end of the line. Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealer. Whether you need to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford, Metro Ford is the place to go. Visit Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today, or go to their website, metrofordofmadison.com, to see this month's specials and browse their inventory. I'm kind of I just hope the Badgers win in general against Iowa, but I'm concerned to see the version of Riley where they don't.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah. Because I don't think I've met him yet.
Yes.
And I don't know if I want to meet him.
Yeah, and there were a lot of positives from today. I like being Johnny Positive, Johnny Optimist. But if UCLA can show enough fight to knock off the 7th-ranked team in the country, granted, Penn State does not deserve that 7th ranking.
No.
They should be probably in the teens-ish.
Yeah.
They have no good wins on their schedule. Maybe Penn State is fraudulent. But they could have beaten Oregon last week, who is a very good team. So I think they're still a top 25 team. If UCLA can just BTA Penn State, Wisconsin's got to get something. You need a win.
Yeah.
You need a win. The positives are great. Moral victories are great. But you need a win, and that has to come next week.
Would you trade a big win for a couple of small ones? I don't
yes,
know if
I trade for
would you trade beat Oregon, but you do lose to, let's say you split the rivalry games and you lose to Washington. Would you do it?
Lose to Washington. So we're beating Oregon, and we're beating Minnesota. Sure, I'd take that.
Yeah.
I'd take anything. You beat the number 2, number 3 team in the country. That's great. We should have beat Oregon last year, and you get the X back. That's all I want. Yeah. I'm not asking for 6 wins anymore. I'm not asking for a lot.
Just give us something to hold on to.
Just give us something that isn't a moral victory, please. Yeah, now I'm angry again.
Yep. All right. It's all right. It's a venting session.
Yes.
And there's been people in the live chat, too, like, they're frustrated. They see stuff like UCLA winning against Penn State, and they go, all right, great. Like, we hung with Michigan today, but we couldn't put anything together after the opening drive. I think, Riley, that's why there is a segment of the fan base out there, and again, feel free to chime in at 800-990-3776, that's still dissatisfied with what they even saw today. And it does bring up a question that I want to ask as well. Do you think I don't even know what expectations are right now. Did they outperform expectations today?
Today, yeah. I think either they marginally outperformed expectations or they lived up. I had optimistic expectations from today, and they lived up to it.
Yeah.
And that was it. They reached exactly what I thought, 24-10. They reached the exact bar I thought. I just flipped it. I thought it'd be a garbage time touchdown instead of a field goal, and they got a garbage time field goal instead of the touchdown. So they lived up to my expectations. Now I want to see them exceed them once.
Yeah.
Have the Badgers, since Luke Fickell got here, have the Badgers ever exceeded your expectations in the game?
No. Nope.
Didn't think so.
I think in the first quarter, if we're allowed to pick quarters, he exceeded my expectations in the first quarter today. I can't pick across an
entire
60,
game. We're still waiting for a 4-quarter
The first half
game
against Penn State was really cool.
from Luke Fickell's Wisconsin Badgers. A
Oregon was fun.
4-quarter masterclass.
Yeah. Got to put it all together.
And it's not there yet. Yep.
No, not at all. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is presented to you by our friends at Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer that's as cold as the Rockies, cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Metro Florida Madison College Football Scoreboard update. When we return, it's going to include UCLA likely still being in front of Penn State. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law offices.
In football, what does every great team start with?
A strong defense. Same's true in business.
Defense against what?
Cyber threats. That's why companies use Trend Micro.
What do they actually protect?
Your network, your data, your people, from ransomware, phishing, and more.
So it's not just antivirus?
Not at all. Trend Micro has a full defensive playbook trusted worldwide for over 35 years.
Sounds like the kind of defense every business needs.
Exactly. Don't get blindsided. Go to trendmicro.com and see how enterprise security is done right.
Hey, it's Jen Latta, and I just had my walk-in closet redesigned by Closets by Design. Doug and his team in Mequon were amazing, from the first consultation to the final install, and now I have a beautiful, organized space for all of my clothes. They really brought my vision to life. Locally owned with the backing of a trusted national brand, they deliver expert design with a personal touch. Get 40% off plus an extra 15% off, and take advantage of 18-month free financing. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN, and don't forget to tell them Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you. you.
Craving that crispy, cheesy, thick Detroit-style pizza? Well, now you got it with Screamin' Sicilian. Screamin' Sicilian delivers the crunch, the gooey cheese pull, and that light, airy crust that you love, all baked in its own pan for those crave-worthy caramelized edges straight from your home oven. You got the cheese, the pepperoni, multi-meat, or supreme. It's like dining out, but without the hefty bill. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section. Screamin' Sicilian, Detroit-style, thick, crispy, unapologetically screamin'.
Your path to a degree should fit your life, not the other way around. At Lakeland University, you can personalize every part of your college experience. With a main campus in Sheboygan, evening classes across the state, and flexible online options, you choose how and when you learn. Just graduated high school, changing careers, juggling work and life, they've got options for you. You can even earn credit for experience you already have, or for the work you're doing now, saving time and money. Start customizing your future today at lakeland.edu/ESPN. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
Your neighbors are talking. Did you see their siding? Yikes. That drafty window? It's basically air conditioning. From nature. Don't be the scary house on the block this fall. Call Exterior Pros and Baths and get $3,000 off your roofing, siding, windows, or bath project. No tricks, just treats. That's 262-800-4274 or click your way to extpros.com. Fall in love with your home again. Trust the pros.
Looking to heat up a career in HVAC? Dick & Trout Heating and Cooling in Milwaukee is now hiring HVAC installers and service technicians. Family owned and
and homecoming against Iowa next week. A lot to celebrate there, and with Celebrations Entertainment, planning events has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more fun. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable events. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk here with you at the Silver Eagle in Monona. It is time for the Metro Ford of Madison college football scoreboard update. Riley, you've had a moment to breathe. We're going to rehash what just got you riled up in the first place.
Yes, let's do it.
We got Penn State and UCLA. So UCLA is out in front 24-7 over number 7 overall ranked Penn State. Texas, the Fighting Arch Mannings find themselves
struggling
down 19-7. Talk about looking for a statement win of their own. They're just trying to get out alive against Florida today. Vandy and Alabama, I feel like the college football world in general is looking really closely at that one. The Fighting Diego Pavia's out in a 7-7 tie. Vandy's got the ball with 3:35 to go. Low-scoring battle so far in the first half. Boise State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's out in front 14-7. Virginia in the top 25 this week. They are in a 14-14 deadlock with Louisville, number 5, Oklahoma, 17-0 over Kent State. That's everything that is live of note right now in the top 25. Looking around the Big Ten, we brought up the UCLA game. They're up 27-7.
Oh my gosh.
They're scoring so fast that they can't even make it through our scoreboard update without changing set score.
Wisconsin's the worst team in the Big Ten.
I think
Who has it worse than us? It's the
Who has it worse
it's the
than us?
opposite of Michigan. We lost to Michigan today. They have the whole who has it better than us. Who has it worse than the Badgers right now? Even Northwestern. I mean, they're only up 11
on UL Monroe.
Louisiana Monroe. Yeah. Northwestern has it pretty bad. Yeah. But
Maryland's up 13-0 over Washington. That's the very Maryland team that won 27-10. Or 27-3 if you go the Steve the Homer True score. Northwestern 18-7 over UL Monroe. Nebraska 14-7 over Michigan State. Michigan 24-10 final over Wisconsin. Illinois held on against Purdue 43-27. Purdue even made that a bit of a game today. It's a Purdue team that was fighting with Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago. I'll say this, Riley. We were the kids in the candy store that were asking just to compete with a good team when the Alabama game went down.
Yep.
We got that. Now we want the really good candy. We want like the king-size bar of, can we please?
Yes.
Please, 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 please get a marquee win.
I'm not even asking for a marquee win. We don't need to beat another ranked team on our schedule. Just give us the trophy games.
Yeah.
Give us Iowa. Give us Minnesota. Maybe Washington if we're feeling generous. I just want to see a good win. Yeah. When was the last time? Today they had a stat after Wisconsin drove down the field for that opening touchdown. It was our first lead over a Power 4 opponent since the Oregon game last year.
That's bad.
Golly. Could we just get a decent win? Our last solid victory in the Luke Fickell era was Rutgers last year.
Yeah.
Rutgers.
Even the Northwestern game didn't feel amazing last year.
That was
23-3.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we're clearly the better team. Didn't deliver any wow factor. And we're past the point of style points. Style points are things that teams that are blowing other squads out look for. We just want to win a game.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I don't want to play the schedule game, but I'm looking down, dude.
Nope.
It is a dark road.
Bill Woj in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat. Northwestern, Purdue, and Wisconsin. We're the poverty program.
So UCLA
now,
is leveled up after one really good half of football.
UCLA, if they beat Penn State, they're out of the bottom. Yeah, Signature wins the 2023 Axe game. I would agree. Braylon Allen had a really good game.
Yeah, that's probably
I believe Mordecai played. I think he came back for that.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great win, and it felt like we made a bowl game. We're moving in the right direction, and then it's just been hell on earth since then. So we're a poverty program now, Badgers. Let's go. Hopefully that changes soon.
That's so sad. That is so sad. I think a lot of people are going to not fully forgive, but at least feel a little bit better with a rivalry win against Iowa. We will not preview that yet. We will do that in the next segment. 24-10, Wisconsin falling to Michigan, got the opening drive touchdown, and it was all quiet after that. Introducing Pizza Hut's new handcrafted personal flats pizzas. Maybe this will make you feel better after checking the scoreboard update and seeing that UCLA, of all teams, is up 20 on Penn State. For just $5 each, you can enjoy bold recipes like Nashville Hot Chicken, Pepperoni Duo, 3-Cheese, Ultimate, and Chicken Bacon Ranch. That's CBR, the perfect pizza deal, perfect for game days. Find the nearest location or order online at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut. Will that make you feel better, Riley? Would a flat pizza bring your mood up a little bit?
Yeah, I'd take a CBR right now. We do have some excellent wings here from the Silver Eagle in Monona. It's been fantastic here. The fans have cleared out a little bit thanks to the Brewers handling the
Ending
Cubs
the game
right
in the
now.
second inning.
Yeah, which is not bad, but great crowd, great group here at the Silver Eagle. Fantastic spot. First time here. I love it.
And there was a buzz, too, early on in the Badgers game,
yes.
too.
When the Brewers game started and the Badgers game was going on, people were dialed in.
They were reacting to both.
Yeah, it rocked.
I brought it up at the beginning. I was like, the Badgers got to earn my attention today, and they did. They just didn't keep it
for a while. Yeah.
They kind of backed out of the way out of respect for the NLDS game and were pushed out of competition right around when Game 1 began. We do have some helmet stickers to give out. I got a few. It's a longer list today. We're trying to go glass half full here, and then we will look ahead to Iowa. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
At Boucher, we don't just sell cars, we build careers.
For over 45 years, Boucher has been Wisconsin's trusted name in automotive excellence, and today we're growing faster than ever.
Whether you're an experienced professional or just starting out, Boucher is hiring across all departments: sales, service, finance, and more.
Enjoy industry-leading pay, unbeatable benefits, paid training, and a workplace that truly values you. Join the Boucher family, where we ride with you every mile, and your future rides with us. Apply today at Boucher.com.
For your fellow fanatics and your number one fans. For your game day compatriots and your everyday companions. For your personal cheerleaders and your personal heroes. For the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Learn more at deltadentalwi.com today.
Big Ten football returns to Madison this fall. The Wisconsin Badgers battle Iowa, Ohio State, Washington, and others to defend Camp Randall this season. From the grind of every snap to the roar of jump around, Badgers leave it all on the field. Be a part of all the tradition Wisconsin football has to offer. Single game tickets are available now at uwbadgers.com or by calling 1-800-GO-BADGERS. Together, we're Wisconsin like that.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's Commercial Payments Solutions. Our market expertise and managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
At Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber Group, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family, and friends in that order. We live that every single day. I'm Tony Wendorf. We move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so our clients win. We operate from a place of gratitude, having donated nearly $200,000 back to our community since 2020. You deserve a team that delivers a luxury experience no matter the price point. Contact us today to get started. Tony Wendorf & Associates, trusted knowledge, superior service. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Wisconsin sports fans, Brian Balaga here from my friends at Surfside. Football season is back, and we're bringing you your tailgate must-have. There's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your home team. Made with real vodka and real brewed tea, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Ask for it at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Let's see who earned it.
Jack Cichy doing it all on this drive for the Badger D.
Melvin Gordon inside the 20. Uses the stiff arm. Hold on. Is he in? That's a Wisconsin touchdown. Going deep. Down the left sideline. Man's there and got him. In stride. And it's Vinny Anthony. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
Time to give out some helmet stickers on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
It is time to give out helmet stickers on the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game show brewed by Coors Light. Before we look ahead to Iowa, we look back at this game against Michigan. 24-10, the final score, a loss for Wisconsin. But some positives. I'll kick us off and we can kind of go rapid fire. The one I think deserves it most out of everybody I'm going to mention, Vinny Anthony had 9 receptions for 97 yards. He was the man when you got the football in his hands today, and it's been that case throughout the entirety of this season, albeit it hasn't gone too well for the rest of the offense, where you have some hope that something can happen. That home run play we've been looking for, my betting odds favor Vinny Anthony being the one who's able to make it.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. That's the natural selection. If you're looking for anyone on the offensive side of the football, has to be Vinny Anthony. I'm just going to go with the entirety of the Badgers defense because they held tough. Outside of that first drive, too, they gave up 3 points the first half, 14 in the second half, mostly because they were on the field the entire game. They kept the Badgers in the game for almost the entirety of it, at least like 3.5 quarters, which I appreciated. They almost made some plays. There were a couple of punch-outs that, again, if the ball bounces the Badgers' way, maybe we're having a little bit different of a conversation.
Yeah.
It helps that Michigan can't throw the football at all. But the defense, they did what they had to do for the Badgers to win today. They played tough. It was a valiant effort. So I'm not giving it to any individual player because there wasn't really a breakout star on the defense. I mean, Austin Brown, he did have a punch-out, which was nice, or one of those punch-outs. I don't know how someone else didn't get a fumble, too, because there were 2 that hit the deck. But the entire defense, Badgers defense, kept them in the game, kept it interesting. They get my helmet sticker for today.
I like it.
Boom.
I'm going to give I'm going to start going fractions here, Riley. I'm going to give 2/3 of a Hunter's or a helmet sticker to Jeff Grimes. I feel like he called a good game considering everything. You got your third-string quarterback in there. I think the number one word that comes to mind when you're given a scenario that the Badgers were given is confidence. You need Hunter Simmons to be confident out there. And I feel like even the pick that he threw at the end, he took a shot. He actually had a receiver open underneath on a crossing route, but he knew he had to push the ball down the field and take some risks. I don't feel like Hunter Simmons ever lost confidence. It was a lot of, we brought this up before, but curl routes, button routes, wide receivers, facing them. Your target is facing you straight up. You didn't have to worry about back shoulder throws, peppering it over a linebacker. Nothing too complicated. I thought Jeff Grimes made life as easy and as simple, and some people were using the word vanilla across Badgers Twitter, as possible as the Brewers wrap up game one.
Go.
They win 9-3 over the Cubs at home.
That is how you start a series, folks. That's how you play as a scrappy underdog team, as a scrappy underdog franchise. You come in and you dominate.
Take notes. Take notes.
Something positive from today. That helmet sticker to the Brewers.
Yeah, could do that.
Helmet sticker to Nick Mears, the L flag. Fly it high, fly it proudly, and have fun driving back down I-94, Cubs fans.
We can give a helmet sticker to the Brewers. I feel like they deviated a lot of the attention away at just the right time, right? Yep. The game started to get a little bit out of hand. Bryce Underwood did start to throw it down the field with a little more success.
I appreciate
And then we're just
that.
like, bottom of the first, it's 6-1. Yeah, so it was good timing there.
Days.
I have one last question before we wrap it up here today. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk here with you at Silver Eagle in Monona. Is this team good enough to beat Iowa? Are they going to? Are they good enough? Or do they have to get out there and play their A game and hope that Iowa plays like their C+?
No, I think they are good enough to beat Iowa. I think it'll be a very evenly matched game. I'd give Iowa the edge if Gronowski plays, like a slight edge at quarterback, and I'd give him a massive edge in the secondary, a slight edge overall as a whole on defense. Give him a slight edge there and a slight edge, at the quarterback spot. Actually,
we talked
now that I think about it, I think Iowa is a slightly better team than Wisconsin. Now, I'd give them a bit of an edge. They have a better rushing game. They have a little bit better quarterback. They have a better defense, but it's not by much. It's not nearly the gap that was there today with Michigan. They can't really throw the football either, so I think Wisconsin's defense will be able to put together a very similar performance. It's can the offense, and Iowa's defense is stingy. That's what they're known for. But can they put together something akin to what we saw in that first drive? I think they can do it. But that's a big but because we haven't seen this team do it consistently over the course of a season. We haven't seen them really grow throughout a season yet. And now they did some positive things today. They have an opportunity to build off that against a beatable Iowa team. We need to see growth. They need to get a win next week. There can't be any moral victories. Iowa has owned us, especially after being embarrassed last year by Iowa. You need to return the favor. You need to win. They've
got to play up. I'm glad you kind of turned around on that because I started thinking about how we've been tiering teams in the Big Ten. And even we said it when we saw the UCLA score. We're like, okay, it's Wisconsin, Purdue, and Northwestern down there. If we want to elevate UCLA out, if they end up winning this game by multiple possessions even, I'm ready to give them the benefit of the doubt. But then Wisconsin is probably, if we're calling them in the bottom tier, A tier, a single tier below Iowa, Minnesota, Maryland, unfortunately, Rutgers. You have to play up to them. That's okay. They're a little more talented. They're going to have to play up to them. If they play the way they did today, and Iowa's even a little bit bruised up, or Iowa makes the big turnover, I don't even think Wisconsin's going to need the play, right? This is not going to be something where the books open up and Wisconsin's like a 20-point underdog.
Yes.
It's not going to be anything close to that. You just have to play clean football. You have to play smart football, and I love how you put it, Riley. Like, that opening drive can't be the only inkling of a competent offense that we see. You can't go radio silent after that.
Yeah, and I don't even think Iowa's more talented than Wisconsin. It's just they have an identity.
Yeah,
Iowa
they know who they
knows who they are. They are smash mouth football. They're going to try to grind you out. Wisconsin doesn't know who they are. They want to be like Iowa. So can they beat Iowa at their own game, essentially? Can they be tougher? Can they be more physical? The talent should be about equal. It's going to come down to who plays better football. I mean, that's really obvious, but it's true. They're not going to be at a huge disadvantage talent-wise. It's a winnable game, and they need to build off the positives from today if Fickle wants to keep his job.
Yeah, I like that you brought up Fickle there, too, because Bill Woj in our chat for ESPN Milwaukee's live chat on YouTube said Iowa's coaching staff is 14 points better than Wisconsin. If you go down the line, right, and say where do they have the advantage, to your point, Riley, if you know who you are and the other team doesn't, I think you've got a pretty good advantage in the coaching department.
That could actually be the most fascinating battle next week is does Iowa play their game and just beats Wisconsin because they know who they are and Wisconsin doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we let you go, we want to remind you to experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority, talking about Starion Bank. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona today, or online at starionbank.com. Final thoughts ahead of Iowa, Mr. Yauk.
Again, I think there were a lot of positives to take away from today's game. They played tough. They played physical. They hung around. The lack of playmakers and the lack of the ability to really turn any momentum is what held them back today against a more talented Michigan team. So there were good things, but they need to be better. They need to start winning games. You have a gettable game next week. You have to. They've already lost one must-win this season, and now you have another quote-unquote must-win that you have to get. And it's so annoying and irritating and aggravating that Wisconsin is one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. They need to prove next week that is not the tier they belong in.
It's just this cloud that's been hanging over their head. Now not only is it haven't had a marquee win in a few years, it's haven't had a win in a few weeks. I mean, you've got the bye week. You have
haven't
Alabama.
Had a Power 4 win in almost a year now.
Oh, that needs to die. Yeah, that streak needs to be snapped.
Our last win was in October. I need to look up when exactly Wisconsin, Rutgers 2024. When was the exact date of this football game? October 12th.
So it'll be 364 days.
It will be exactly a year, or 1 day away from a year since the Badgers' last Power 4 win next week. They need to get their second. They're one per calendar year.
The urgency is here. Hopefully we can finally get the candy in the candy store. And we
that
have to
is
stop
the dream.
For
that is
your
the dream.
celery and
celery and carrots.
At least the wings here were good.
Yeah, true. Fantastic. Love the Silver Eagle, the Dirty Bird.
Yes, they were very nice to us today. Crowd here was amazing. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk here with you, signing off as Wisconsin falls 24-10 to Michigan. They've got the big rivalry game next week. It's homecoming. It's back at home. It is primetime. Kickoff starts at 6. That means the pregame show will start at 4. I will actually be subbing in for Jesse Nelson.
Let's go. And
you, Riley, me, Adam Mertz, I think Brett Nortman.
That should be a fun show.
Yeah.
And one last thing, shout out. We've had like 10, 12-ish viewers per channel throughout this entire show.
Diehards.
Appreciate you, like 20, 25 diehards who stayed the entire time. You guys rock. Thank you for listening.
You love Wisconsin football, and you made that very clear, and we love you for it. All right. Thank you so much to everybody for joining. Until next week, big opportunity against Iowa. Let's go out and snap a 364-day dry spell, if you will. Corey Sparks, Riley Yauk signing off. Thank you so much to Andrew Zimmel back at the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Studios in Milwaukee.
Great
Owen
work,
Dimful,
Andrew.
Same with you at the Everlight Solar Studios in Madison. Have a wonderful week, everybody. This has been ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
At Alpha Custom Apparel, we create standout corporate apparel and promotional gear that makes a lasting impression. Whether it's polos for your next conference,